Today we are making a video on KaOS 2023-04 edition, and here is the 10th anniversary edition of a KaOS. So in order to boot it in a live mode, click on Start KaOS Live. So here are other options like F1, F2, F3 and F4. F1 for help, F2 for language selection. I'm going to choose English United States for my language. You can choose any language, there are plenty of languages available, and here is also a keyboard as you can see here. And click on F3, you will get a video mode, and F4 for kernel. So let's boot it in a live mode, which is Start KaOS Live. Usually it takes like a maximum of 1 minute or a minimum of 30 to 40 seconds. This is the basic timing of a usual Linux distro load up to the desktop layout. So I'm running it on a virtual machine, which is a VMware with 80 GB of hard disk, 4 GB of RAM, and with 2 processors running. So I'll be posting 2 videos daily without missing any day. So I already posted a content. So if you want to watch that content, watch this video completely and then go to the other video. So this is a 10th anniversary ISO file, and it is featuring with KDE Plasma 6, which is still not released, but they are providing that. So it takes a few more seconds, and we should be having a KDE desktop environment, which is in a KaOS 2023.04 edition. So it should usually take a few more seconds, but it is taking a longer. I made a past versions of the KaOS. If you want to check that out, you can search that in my channel. So I think we should be seeing a mouse pointer. As you can see, there was a mouse pointer, and we should be seeing our desktop layout completely loaded in a few more seconds. And you should be seeing a mouse pointer with a highlighter like a red or yellow color, because I'm using that overlay as a recording. It's almost like a 45 seconds I guess, and we still didn't have our desktop layout, but we have a mouse pointer. I'm seeing a mouse pointer here, and you should be seeing with a highlighted color. So it's with the KDE Plasma desktop environment. Who don't know what KaOS has the desktop environment, it usually has a KDE desktop environment. So it says Plasma for KaOS, and we should be seeing our desktop layout in any second. And I'm running it on a live mode because live mode is always the safe boot, because if you are satisfied with a live boot, you can go with the installation later after using for hours. If you see any bugs in the live mode, you can easily delete the KaOS or the live boot and download the stable version after the stable version is released. And here is our KaOS 2023.04 loaded completely. Let me change the display resolution because I'm running it on a VMware, so I need to change the display setting. Usually it automatically changes, but some desktop environments or some Linux distro doesn't change, so we need to change it on manual. So it takes a few seconds. Usually this is the KaOS style, it takes some of the time. So let me change the resolution. Mine is 1920 x 1080. Click on apply. I give you a tip that if you can't see the text size or a font properly, if you want to see the text on the font's bold or the app icon, if you can't see properly, you can change the scaling up to 150% with 1920 x 1080, and with 120% or 150% should be the best option or the best setting. That's a tip I'm giving for you. Only if you can't see the text, you can change the scaling. If you are seeing properly, you don't need to change it. Let's go to the about system, and the version is KaOS 2023. This is the URL or the website, and it says KDE Plasma version 5.27.4, but it was 5.27.80, but right now I don't know what happened after downloading the ISO file. I think they removed the ISO file for some reason, I guess. The latest version, as I will show you the ISO file in the few seconds. So let's go with the system monitor first, because we need to know how much resources are consuming right now. So the passwords for the live root will be this: a username root and the password will be live, or username root and the password will be root, and the username will be live and the password will be live. I think this is like a horizontal or vertical. I don't know properly. They didn't give a dash or something like that. They just give the username and password. So take it this way, like a username should be root and the password should be root, or username should be live and the password should be live. This is about KaOS. This is the packages list, and our mouse pointer is playing something weird. Let's go to the main, and you can see instead of a mouse pointer it's showing the text pointer. So let's close this. Can't even close. This is the problem with the KDE Plasma every time, because it doesn't show the correct mouse pointer. Let me close this thing and open the system monitor. As you can see, instead of the mouse cursor pointer, it shows the text pointer. That's pretty weird of the KDE Plasma every time. So we need to struggle with it. Now it changes to this type of like a scrolling thing. So let's struggle with like that. So open the system monitor, because we need to see the system resources first. I don't know, the ISO file is removed. I think the KDE Plasma desktop environment was like a 5.27.80, which is a 6, but right now it says 5.27.4. as you can see. Even in the website they showed like a 5.27.80, which means it's a development version with for KDE Plasma 6. I don't know, they removed, I think. No problem, let's use this version. The RAM is almost a 1.3 GB. I already mentioned that I'm using a 4 GB of RAM for the VMware for the KaOS Linux. Right now the resources consuming are 1.3 GB, and the CPU is almost going crazy right now. As you can see, it is not stable. It's going up to 50% and down to 2% like that. So I don't know how to take that. So applications are these things, and history is here. As you can see, there is no stable graph of the CPU. There is a high peak here and there. There is not a stable graph here, and the RAM is almost a 1.3 GB. RAM is good, but the CPU is going crazy. No problem, let's go to the process. And again our mouse cursor or the mouse pointer changed. It's always a problem with the KDE desktop environment. It doesn't know what mouse pointer should provide. These are all the processes running right now. So let's check the version of the system monitor. We should be having a 57.4. So let me close this thing and open the console, which is a terminal for the KDE Plasma desktop environment, and we have our mouse pointer back again. I don't know when it changes again. It changed again. Console 23.04.0. So let's type in few commands like inxi -sv8. This is the command which will grab complete distro info or the distro information. Let's try to change the color if it's available. It should be available in general, I guess. Profiles, title bar. The mouse pointer is not properly working, so it's a pain to use properly. So let's check the information of the system. Host is a local host, and the kernel is a 6.2.11, and it's a 64-bit architecture. Compiler GCC version 12.2.0. and the KDE Plasma version is a 5.27.4. I think if we update, we should be getting a 5.27.80, which is a 6 KDE Plasma. Qt version is a 5.15.9, and distro is KaOS 2023, and I'm running it on a VMware, so it says machine as a VMware. And BIOS Phoenix version is a 6.0, and memory is almost a 1.3 GB of a 4 GB. So this is my CPU information. As you can see, i5 1240p. I'm running it on a laptop. So if you want to check my laptop resources, here are some of the information. So VMWGFX version is a 2.20.0.0 and display is a VLAN, server is a Xorg version 1.21.1.8, XValiant version is a 23.1.1 and OpenGL version is a 4.1, Mesa is a 23.02 as you can see properly. Jack version is a 1.9.22 and Pipewire version is a 0.3.69. So let's scroll it down, and Pulse Audio version is 16.1. I'm sorry for that. So some of the information is here, and I'm using a 80 GB of hard disk for my virtual machine. So it says 80 GB here. So let's scroll it down until the bottom, and INXI version is a 3.3.26 and Shell Bash version is a 5.2.15, GCC 12.2.0. I already mentioned that. Processors running right now are 228, uptime is 8 minutes, and init systemd version is 253. So let's type in the same commands which will grab the same information but in a short form. Let's type in INXI, which will get the same information but in a short form. Let's type in INXI-b and same information. Let's type in INXI-G and let's type in cat:/etc/issue, and the passwords are user, live or live, root for root. These are the username and password. So let's type in neofetch if it's pre-installed. Neofetch is not pre-installed. Let's type in htop. Htop also is not available. So let's exit this thing, and let's open the website by going to the web browser, which is Falcon. Usually Firefox will be the default browser for every Linux distro, but KaOS always has the Falcon web browser. So let's check the version of the Falcon. The version is a 23.04.0 and web engine version is 5.15.9. So this is the website, which is KaOS x.us. So this is the website and this is the URL. If you want to copy or type it, this is the website. So these are the package list. So let's go to the news first, and I will show you the 10th anniversary update. Here is the 10 years of KaOS. So these are some of the updates. As you can see, download Plasma 6 ISO. So let's click on it, and here is the Plasma ISO file. I think I downloaded the 5.27.4 version. Here is the Plasma 6 version. If you want to watch the Plasma 6 version, make a comment in the description. So if you want to watch the KDE Plasma 6 version, I am going to make a video, so there is nothing to worry. You can just ask in the comments. I will be making that video. So if you don't want, I am not going to make it. If you want it, I will make it for you. So these are some of the updates or some of the informations. If you want, you can read it on your own. So these are the information. The ISO files are right here to download. So this is the version also. Other versions are here. So you can click on download if you want, or you can just download it right there. If you want a KDE Plasma 6 version, you need to download from the source code. If you just want the simple version, you can go with the download here, which is here are the mirrors. Click on KaOS ISO, and here are the files to download. It takes like 5 seconds and it will give us the ISO file. So the file size is around like a 2.3 GB, I guess. So let's check that out by clicking on OK. Click on desktop, save it, So let's see how it's a 3 GB of file size. I'm using a VPN, so it will be slow for me. So let's close this thing. That was the website and the downloading process. So let's close this thing. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. We showed the website also. Let's see other features like a desktop features. Let's check out the pre-installed apps which comes with the KaOS. So these are all the apps applications available with the KaOS. So let's go to the welcome app. So if you want to install the KaOS, you can directly click on install OS, or you can go with the Calamares installer, which is available right here. Calamares installer, as you can see here, click on all applications. Here is a Calamares installer. So this is the installer. I think this is the version of a Calamares 3.3. Release candidate for KaOS 2023.04. First you need to choose the language. Again, this is the basic installation style in every Linux distro. There is no complicated things in here. So you need to choose your language. Install only after you are satisfied with the live boot. If you are struggling with the live boot, or if you are having bugs in the live boot, don't just install it on your PC. Always try to use this on the live boot. Only if you are satisfied, go with the installation. If you don't satisfied, or if you feel anything like a bugs, or if you encounters any bug, so just ignore this and wait for the stable version, or just choose the other Linux distro, because I don't want you to ruin your PC. So let's go back to the installation process. First you need to choose the language. I choose the American English language. There are plenty of languages available here, not many, but few important languages. So let's go to the next. You need to choose your location. Don't need to provide your actual location. You can provide any location. I'm choosing the, I don't know where it is. I'm choosing the Los Angeles, America. America, Los Angeles. As you can see, you can customize these options if you want. You can do anything you want here. Click on next. You should be having a keyboard layout. Mine is the Dell wireless Dell keyboard, but it automatically always gives the generic 105 key PC, and it works for me, so I'm going to choose that version. And you need to choose your layout. There are plenty of languages available here, so I'm choosing the English United States and the default as the English. As you can see, you can test or type your keyboard here. I'm clicking on next now. There is a Office installation here, packages like Office, and you want a minimal install. It's always better if you are studying, or if you in education, or if you're working office, you going to office, you need to use this option, because LibreOffice is good for the office people or the students, for education people like that. I think you understood what I'm saying here. So if you don't want, you just you can click on no office suite or minimal install. So you can customize on your own. Click on next after choosing the options. Here is a Pipewire and a Pulse audio. You can choose anything you want. Please select an audio option for your install, or leave the default Pipewire. You can choose anything you want. Click on next. And here is the important thing, or you should be careful while choosing this thing. First you need to choose your hard disk or SSD, whatever the installation media you have, or installation location you want to install the KaOS. You need to choose your location of the hard disk. Then go with the options like a erase disk or a manual partitioning. Erase disk means the option which will delete the current operating system, delete everything like files, photos, videos, movies, everything, and it's going to install it KaOS as a single boot, and you should be losing your old operating system. So be careful while choosing this option. If you want to dual boot, go with the manual partitioning. You should be having to create like a partitioning. If you already had, you choose the partitions like that. So I'm choosing the erase disk with a no swap, XFC. You can choose anything, you can customize on your own. if you want to encrypt your system, you can encrypt by providing the password in the same, you need to provide the same password for the two boxes. So I don't want it, so I'm going to choose like this. So there is a bootloader location. Automatically I'm choosing the master boot record. This is the automatic one. You can do that afterwards if you want. You can do anything you want, customize on your own. I'm choosing the default thing and clicking on next, and it says to install the Gnupg. So bootloader location, I'm choosing the Gnupg, and if you don't want, you can choose the no bootloader. I'm choosing the Gnupg bootloader location. Click on next, and you need to provide your username, password, all these things. You don't need to provide the actual username and password. You can give anything you want. So let me type in something like runboxing, for example, and I don't want the, and you can see there is a mouse pointer going crazy or glitching. It doesn't allow me to properly use it. So that's the reason I always say use this live boot first. If you're satisfied, then go with the installation. Don't just blindly use the installation directly instead of live boot. So I'm choosing the simple password, so it's warning me password is too short. So log in automatically without asking for the password. If you want to validate your password, it will validate your password saying it's a worst password. For the sake of video, I'm choosing the simple password. You can choose the best password and write it down the password or remember the password. If you forgot, that should be pain, so be careful. Write down the password, that should be good idea. So click on next. So these are all the summary what we choose in the previous steps, like a location as a Los Angeles, keyboard is a generic, and packages I choose the Libarchive, audio as the pipewire, and these are the things will happen after clicking on install. And I choose the bootloader option as a Gnupg. So that's it. Click on next. It's going to install in like 20 minutes if you have a low-end PC. If you have a good PC or a mid-end PC, you should be installed like in 5 to 10 minutes. It completely depends on the PC and the Linux distro. If it's Linux distro is good, so it will take like 5 to 10 minutes. If it's worse, so you should struggle with that thing. So that's the installation process. After the installation, it's going to ask you to finish and reboot. So it should be installed on your VMware or your hard disk on your work PC or main PC. It completely depends on what option you choose. If you're using a VMware, no need to worry because you're going to delete it. However, so if you're installed it on your main PC or work PC, so be careful and try to install, try to use it the Linux distro before in a live boot first, and then go with the installation. I'm saying it again and again like 3 to 4 times because I don't want you to ruin your PC. So that's the reason, or that's the main thing here to that's the main tip or the important thing I'm mentioning you. So let me close the installation. That's the installation process. So let's close this thing, and we still left with desktop features like wallpapers and all these things. Let's explore the wallpapers and some of the desktop features. So on the wallpaper side, there will be nothing else like 3 wallpapers, nothing other than this wallpapers. If you want new wallpapers, you need to download on your own, and desktop version is a 3.0. So this is the wallpaper, and this is a simplistic or minimalistic desktop. As you can see, there is nothing fancy or anything going on. And also KDE Plasma isn't working properly. The mouse pointers are going crazy, and some of bugs, they have some of the minor bugs. So it's your choice, or it's you to judge to use this Linux distro or not. So I'm giving the option to choose on your own. So these are some of the apps, I guess. It's a text editor. So let's go to the system, not the system, the software manager. Here is a Stacer. Stacer is usually found in Linux Lite, but KaOS has also have this thing. So here is the system info, CPU. As you can see, CPU going crazy. That's the reason I mentioned you to use the live boot first. Don't just blindly install this as the operating system on your work PC or main PC. So that's the reason I'm saying to use the live boot first. So here is the CPU, here is the memory and the disk. So other options are like startups, system cleaner, you can clean it everything, search, you can browse anything here. These are the services. You can toggle on or off button here, and these are all the processes running right now. You can uninstall the packages here, and these are the resources right now. As you can see, there is everything here. So let's go to the next, which is the helpers, and these are the settings. So let's the version of this tester is version 1.1.0. so let me close this thing, and again the mouse pointer is not properly working, so let's try to struggle with like that. So what we left here is some of the apps. Let's check the version of the apps and end the video. So let's open the Octopi, which is a software manager in a KaOS. It's a package manager, as you can see, and again the mouse cursor is not working properly, so we need to struggle it further again. Can't do anything. I think there is a freeze. I think can't do anything. So let me try to close this thing. Can't open this thing again. Can't even close. It says not responding. However, it closed it automatically. So let's just open the apps and check the version and end the video, because it's a pain to use this worst Linux distros, because sometimes it's a pain to use the Linux distro when it doesn't work properly. So we launched the LibreOffice. The version should be like a 7.5.2.2, I guess. That's the latest version of the LibreOffice, 7.5.2.2, as you can see. So let's check other apps like something like we saw the LibreOffice. There is a game, I think, Pac-Man game. I don't know properly. It's a log viewer, not a game. So I think we covered everything, I guess. These are some of the KaOS apps, nothing important, so no need to show that. So, and the Kate editor, these are all the some of the apps of the desktop environments. So let me show you that. Even the text editor taking a few seconds to load up. That's pretty weird. About Kate, the version is a 23.04.0. This is the latest version. So I think we covered everything, and let me show you the system monitor and end the video. Before it was like a 1.3 GB, I guess, in the beginning of the video, and let's check at the end of the video how much resources are consumed. I just opened a few apps, that's it, nothing more than that. It's almost a 1.7 GB, just a 300 MB is consumed. That's the reason, because we didn't open that many apps. We just opened the LibreOffice and some Kate text editor, that's it. So it's almost a 300% or a 300 MB of RAM usage, and the CPU is also going crazy as usual. As you can see, it's not stable. It's going up to 60 to 70%, and it's going down to 2%. It's clearly up to you to judge, or it's clearly up to you to use it or not. So if you ask my opinion, I'm not going to recommend this thing because it has some minor issues or minor bugs. So I'm not going to recommend this type of Linux distro. Only if it's stable, if it works properly for me, I'm going to recommend for you. I'm not going to recommend you to ruin your PC. If you want to use it on your own, you can use it on a live boot. Don't try to install it on your own. If you're satisfied with the live boot, go with the installation later. So try to use it in a live boot like 5 to 6 hours. Don't just use like a 10 minutes or 5 minutes. So that's the tip I'm giving. So let's shut down the video. I already made another video because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out after watching this video. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. It helps make a good content for you. Other than that, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.